Have you ever found yourself pondering a question that seems both simple and complex at the same time? Perhaps it was a riddle that made you scratch your head or a statement that felt both true and false. Welcome to the world of paradoxes, a realm where logic seems to bend and twist in ways that challenge our understanding of reality. Paradoxes exist in every corner of human thought, from philosophy to mathematics, and even in our everyday lives. They invite us to examine our beliefs, question our assumptions, and explore the depths of our understanding. Today, we will embark on a journey through some of the most intriguing paradoxes that have captured the minds of thinkers for centuries. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, dark forest, where the trees whisper secrets and shadows dance in the moonlight. Each path you take leads to a new discovery, a new question that needs answering. Just like that forest, the world of paradoxes is filled with twists and turns that can lead to profound insights or bewildering confusion. The beauty of this journey lies not only in the concepts we will explore, but also in the questions they raise. Questions that resonate deeply with the human experience. To understand the significance of paradoxes, we must first recognize how they challenge our perceptions of reality. Take, for example, the famous paradox of the barber. Imagine a barber who shaves everyone who does not shave themselves. The question then arises, does the barber shave himself? If he does, according to the rule, he should not shave himself, but if he doesn't, then he must shave himself. This simple scenario, wrapped in a seemingly innocent question, reveals the complexities of self-reference and logical consistency. Paradoxes like this one force us to confront the limitations of our thinking. They show us that our understanding of the world is often not as clear-cut as we would like it to be. We tend to categorize things as black or white, right or wrong, but paradoxes introduce shades of gray that complicate our neat classifications. They remind us that certainty is often an illusion, and embracing the ambiguity of life can lead to deeper insights. Consider the paradox of the liar, where a person declares, "I am lying." If the statement is true, then the person is lying, which means the statement is false. However, if the statement is false, then the person is not lying, which makes the statement true. This loop of contradiction illustrates how language and truth can intertwine in ways that challenge our logical frameworks. It beckons us to question not just what is true, but how we define truth itself. As we delve deeper into the world of paradoxes, we find that they are not merely abstract puzzles meant to confuse us. Instead, they serve a vital purpose in our intellectual and emotional lives. They act as mirrors, reflecting our assumptions and beliefs back at us, urging us to examine them more closely. When faced with a paradox, we are often left with an unsettling feeling, an itch in our minds that demands to be scratched. This feeling is precisely what drives human curiosity and the pursuit of knowledge. Imagine lying in bed at night, staring at the ceiling, your mind wandering through the labyrinth of thoughts. You might ponder the nature of time, questioning whether it is linear or cyclical. The ancient Greeks believed in a cyclical view of time, where events repeat in an endless loop. In contrast, we often think of time as a straight line, moving from the past to the present and into the future. But what if time is both? What if, like a spiral, it twists and turns, creating overlapping moments that challenge our linear perception? This thought sends shivers down your spine, awakening a sense of wonder about the mysteries of existence. And what about the paradox of choice? In a world teeming with options, we often believe that having more choices leads to greater happiness. Yet researchers have found that an abundance of choice can lead to anxiety, paralysis, and dissatisfaction. Imagine standing in front of an ice cream shop with 20 flavors. The sheer number of options can be overwhelming. As you deliberate over chocolate chip cookie dough versus mint chocolate chip, you might find yourself second-guessing your decision, wondering if you've made the right choice. Ultimately, this paradox reveals that sometimes less truly is more. As we navigate through these intriguing paradoxes, we must recognize that they are not just intellectual exercises. They are deeply tied to the human experience. They encourage us to embrace uncertainty and complexity, to find beauty in the questions rather than solely in the answers. Paradoxes remind us that life is not a straightforward journey, but a winding path filled with unexpected turns and revelations. Take a moment to reflect on your own life. How many times have you faced situations that seemed paradoxical? Perhaps it was a choice that brought you both joy and regret, or a relationship that was both fulfilling and painful. Life is full of contradictions, and embracing them can lead to deeper self-awareness and understanding. Now, let's shift our focus to the implications of these paradoxes. What do they say about the nature of reality and our place within it? The exploration of paradoxes invites us to consider our beliefs and the systems of thought we rely on. They challenge us to question the foundations of our understanding and to remain open to new perspectives. For instance, the paradox of free will confronts us with a profound dilemma. Are we truly the architects of our destinies, or are our choices predetermined by factors beyond our control? This question has captivated philosophers for centuries, leading to debates that explore the essence of human agency. The idea that our lives may be influenced by genetics, environment, and circumstances raises unsettling questions about accountability and morality. If our decisions are shaped by forces outside our conscious control, what does that mean for our sense of self? As we ponder these existential questions, we are reminded that paradoxes have the power to illuminate the complexities of the human experience. They encourage us to explore the nuances of our beliefs, to confront the contradictions that exist within ourselves and in the world around us. They serve as a reminder that the journey of understanding is ongoing, filled with twists and turns that challenge us to grow and adapt. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to sink into this contemplation. As you relax into the rhythm of your breath, consider the idea that paradoxes can be a source of comfort as well as confusion. They connect us to the shared human experience, reminding us that we are not alone in our struggles to make sense of the world. As we prepare to move forward in our exploration, let us carry with us the understanding that paradoxes are not obstacles to be avoided, but invitations to delve deeper into the mysteries of existence. They invite us to embrace the unknown, to explore the questions that linger in the shadows of our minds. And so, as we transition to our next segment, let us open our hearts and minds to the paradox of free will. This compelling idea will take us deeper into the exploration of choice, agency, and the intricate dance between fate and freedom. Together, we will unravel the threads of this paradox, seeking to understand its implications for our lives and the choices we make. Prepare to journey further into the realm of the unknown, where the boundaries of reality blur and the possibilities are endless. Each paradox we encounter will serve as a stepping stone, guiding us toward greater wisdom and understanding as we continue our exploration of life's most profound mysteries. What if I told you that the very fabric of your existence, your choices, your actions, your life, might be nothing more than an illusion? This is the fundamental question behind the paradox of free will, a concept that has puzzled philosophers, scientists, and thinkers for centuries. It challenges our understanding of autonomy and responsibility, and it raises profound questions about the nature of reality itself. Today, we will embark on an exploration of this paradox, delving deep into its implications and the ways it intersects with our everyday lives. Imagine standing at a crossroads, where every decision you make branches out into infinite possibilities. You can go left, right, or even stay put, each choice leading you down a different path with its own set of outcomes. This is the essence of free will, the belief that we are the architects of our own destinies, capable of making choices that shape our lives. But what if that belief is merely an illusion? What if every decision you make is predetermined by factors beyond your control? To understand the paradox of free will, we must first consider the concept of determinism, the idea that every event, including human actions, is determined by preceding events according to the laws of nature. Picture a vast machine, every cog and gear working in harmony. Each action we take, each thought we have, is the result of a long chain of events stretching back to our very origins. This perspective suggests that our choices are not truly our own. They are simply the result of biological, environmental, and social influences that guide our behavior. This deterministic view raises uncomfortable questions about moral responsibility. If our actions are predetermined, can we truly be held accountable for them? Imagine a world where criminals argue that their actions were the result of genetic predispositions or traumatic experiences. If free will is an illusion, then the foundations of our justice system, punishment and reward begin to crumble. What does it mean to hold someone responsible for their actions if those actions were never truly chosen? Let's take a moment to reflect on a personal experience. Think about a time when you made a decision that you felt was entirely yours, perhaps choosing a career path or moving to a new city. In that moment, it felt as if you were exercising your free will, shaping your future. But how much of that decision was influenced by your upbringing, societal expectations, and the opportunities presented to you? As you ponder this, you might begin to see how complex and intertwined our choices are with the world around us. Philosophers have grappled with this issue for centuries. One of the most notable figures in this discussion is René Descartes, who famously declared, "I think, therefore I am." Descartes believed that the very act of thinking was proof of our existence and autonomy. However, this raises another question. Is our thinking truly free, or is it influenced by external factors? Are we merely puppets dancing to the tune of our biology and environment? As we dive deeper into the paradox of free will, we encounter the concept of compatibilism, the idea that free will and determinism are not mutually exclusive. Compatibilists argue that even if our choices are influenced by prior causes, we can still be considered free as long as we act according to our desires and intentions. Imagine a river flowing through a landscape. While the path of the river is determined by the terrain, the water still moves freely along that path. In this view, our choices may be shaped by external factors, but they can still reflect our true selves. However, this perspective does not come without its challenges. Critics argue that compatibilism merely redefines free will without addressing the underlying issues of determinism. If our desires and intentions are themselves shaped by prior events, can we truly call them our own? This brings us back to the core of the paradox. Are we genuinely free, or are we simply following a script written by the universe? Let's take a moment to consider a contemporary example: the advancements in neuroscience. Researchers have made significant strides in understanding how our brains function and how our decisions are made. Studies using brain imaging technology have shown that our brains often make decisions before we are consciously aware of them. Imagine being presented with a choice, such as opting for chocolate or vanilla ice cream. Brain scans reveal that the decision is made subconsciously before you even realize it. In this light, it seems as if our conscious mind is merely rationalizing choices that have already been made. What does this mean for our understanding of free will? Are we merely spectators in our own lives, watching our choices unfold without any real agency? As we navigate through these philosophical waters, it becomes clear that the paradox of free will is not just an academic exercise. It has profound implications for how we live our lives. It invites us to examine our beliefs about responsibility, morality, and the nature of existence itself. In a world where our choices may not be entirely our own, how do we find meaning and purpose? Consider the implications for personal growth and development. If we accept that our choices are influenced by external factors, we might also recognize that we have the power to change those factors. This realization can be empowering. Just as the river can carve a new path through the landscape, we can seek out new experiences, challenge our beliefs, and reshape our desires. Understanding the forces that influence our decisions can lead to greater self-awareness and a more intentional approach to life. Let's reflect on this for a moment. Imagine you're standing in front of a mirror, gazing at your reflection. You see the person you are today, but how much of that person has been shaped by your experiences, your environment, and your relationships? The choices you've made, the paths you've taken, how much of that can you claim as truly your own? This introspection can lead to a deeper understanding of yourself and your journey. As we explore the complexities of free will, we must also consider the role of society in shaping our choices. From the moment we are born, we are bombarded with messages about how to think, what to value, and how to behave. Our families, cultures, and communities play a significant role in shaping our beliefs and desires. The paradox of free will invites us to question how much of our identity is shaped by these external influences versus our intrinsic motivations. Imagine a young artist who feels compelled to pursue a career in medicine due to parental expectations. While the artist may have a passion for painting, societal pressures lead them down a different path. In this case, the individual's free will is constrained by external factors. But what if they were to break free from those constraints? What if they chose to embrace their passion despite the pressure? This decision could lead to a life filled with fulfillment and creativity, highlighting the importance of self-discovery and authenticity. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration, it's essential to recognize that the paradox of free will does not have a definitive answer. It invites us to engage in an ongoing dialogue about the nature of existence and the choices we make. Rather than seeking a binary answer, free will versus determinism, we can embrace the complexity of human experience, acknowledging that our lives are shaped by a myriad of factors, both internal and external. So, as you lie in bed tonight, reflecting on the choices you've made and the paths you've taken, consider the idea that your journey is a tapestry woven from countless influences. Each thread represents a moment, a decision, a spark of inspiration. While you may not have complete control over every aspect of your life, you hold the power to shape your narrative. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, let us carry with us the understanding that the exploration of free will is not just about the freedom to choose. It is about the courage to embrace our complexities and the strength to navigate the uncertainties of life. In our next exploration, we will delve into the intriguing realm of the simulation hypothesis, where we will question the very nature of our reality and consider the possibility that we may be living in a manufactured existence. Prepare to expand your mind further as we journey deeper into the mysteries of life. Have you ever questioned what is real? Imagine for a moment that everything you see, hear, and feel is merely an intricate illusion, a simulation designed to mirror reality. This thought-provoking idea is at the heart of the simulation hypothesis, a concept that has gained traction in both philosophical circles and popular culture. Today, we will embark on an exploration of this hypothesis, delving into its implications and what it means for our understanding of existence itself. To begin, let's set the scene. Picture yourself in a world that feels entirely authentic, where you can touch, taste, and experience life in vivid detail. You might be at a bustling cafe, surrounded by the aroma of freshly brewed coffee and the sound of lively conversations. You engage in a meaningful dialogue with a friend, sharing laughter and stories, feeling the warmth of connection. But what if, beneath this seemingly rich tapestry of existence, everything is just a construct, a sophisticated simulation created by an advanced civilization? The simulation hypothesis suggests that our reality could be akin to a computer-generated simulation. In this view, what we perceive as the universe, with its stars, planets, and living beings, might simply be an elaborate digital creation, much like a video game or virtual reality experience. This idea is not just a flight of fancy. It is rooted in philosophical inquiry and scientific speculation that challenges the very foundations of our understanding of reality. One of the earliest and most notable proponents of the simulation hypothesis was philosopher Nick Bostrom. In his influential paper, Bostrom postulates that at least one of the following propositions is true. First, almost all civilizations at our level of technological development go extinct before becoming technologically mature. Second, almost all technologically mature civilizations lose interest in creating simulations of their evolutionary history. Finally, we are almost certainly living in a computer simulation. This argument poses a startling possibility. If advanced civilizations have the capability to create realistic simulations, then it is statistically likely that we are living in one of them. Imagine a future where humanity has developed technology so advanced that we can simulate entire worlds, complete with sentient beings who possess their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences. In this scenario, the lines between creator and creation blur. If we can create simulations indistinguishable from reality, why wouldn't a more advanced civilization do the same? This thought elicits a sense of wonder, and perhaps a hint of unease, as we consider the implications of living in a simulated reality. As we delve deeper into the simulation hypothesis, let's consider the advances in technology that make this idea increasingly plausible. Virtual reality and artificial intelligence have made tremendous strides in recent years. Today, we can immerse ourselves in digital worlds where we can interact with lifelike avatars and experience environments that feel incredibly real. With the rapid pace of technological advancement, It's easy to imagine a future where these simulations become indistinguishable from reality. Think about the popular video game franchises that allow players to explore vast, open worlds, complete with intricate storylines and complex characters. Games like The Sims and Grand Theft Auto provide a glimpse into what simulated existence could look like, where players have agency and can make choices that impact the virtual environment. If we can create such immersive experiences today, what might be possible in the future? This leads us to another fascinating aspect of the simulation hypothesis: the question of consciousness. If we are living in a simulation, what does that mean for our understanding of consciousness itself? Are we mere algorithms executing pre-programmed responses, or do we possess true consciousness and self-awareness? Consider this: if a simulation can create beings that exhibit consciousness and emotional depth, does that not challenge our assumptions about what it means to be alive? Imagine a scenario where a highly advanced simulation has created sentient beings who are completely unaware that they are part of a digital construct. These beings experience love, joy, pain, and suffering, just as we do. The implications of this thought are staggering. If consciousness can arise from a simulation, what does that say about the nature of our own consciousness and existence? As we ponder these questions, it's important to explore the philosophical ramifications of the simulation hypothesis. The idea that our reality may be a simulation raises profound inquiries about identity and existence. If we are living in a simulation, who are we? Are we simply the byproducts of an advanced civilization's experiment, or do we possess inherent value and meaning? This line of questioning invites us to reflect on our understanding of reality itself. What constitutes real? Is it the ability to perceive, to feel, to experience? Or is it something deeper, something that transcends the physical and the digital? If our experiences and emotions are genuine, does it matter whether we are living in a simulation or a so-called real world? As we navigate these complex questions, we must also consider the ethical implications of the simulation hypothesis. If we are, in fact, living in a simulation, what responsibilities do we hold toward our fellow beings? Should we consider the simulated beings within the simulation as deserving of moral consideration, just as we do with our fellow humans? The potential for creating sentient beings within a simulation raises ethical dilemmas reminiscent of those faced in discussions of artificial intelligence and robotics. Imagine a future where we create simulations populated by beings that think and feel. How do we ensure their rights and welfare? If we were to create a digital utopia, what responsibilities would we have to its inhabitants? This ethical dimension adds another layer to the already intricate tapestry of the simulation hypothesis, urging us to consider the consequences of our actions as creators. Let's take a moment to reflect on the stories we tell ourselves about our existence. Throughout history, humans have sought to understand their place in the universe through myths, religions, and philosophies. These narratives often grapple with the nature of reality, existence, and the divine. The simulation hypothesis can be viewed as a modern extension of these age-old inquiries, offering a new lens through which we can examine our lives and our relationship with the cosmos. In many ways, the simulation hypothesis resonates with the philosophical concept of solipsism, the idea that only one's own mind is sure to exist. If we were to accept that we are living in a simulation, we might be tempted to dismiss the external world as unreal, as nothing more than a projection of the mind of the simulator. This perspective, however, can lead to isolation and despair. Instead, the simulation hypothesis invites us to embrace the wonder of existence, regardless of whether it is real or simulated. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of the simulation hypothesis, it's essential to recognize that this concept does not provide definitive answers. Rather, it opens the door to a multitude of questions that challenge our understanding of reality. It invites us to embrace uncertainty and to find meaning in the mysteries that surround us. Consider the feelings that arise as you ponder your own existence. As you reflect on the intricacies of life, you may find comfort in the idea that the universe is vast and filled with possibilities, whether real or simulated. Life is a tapestry woven from countless experiences, emotions, and connections, each thread contributing to the richness of the human experience. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, Let us carry with us the understanding that the simulation hypothesis invites us to explore the nature of reality, consciousness, and ethics. It encourages us to question our assumptions and to embrace the complexities of existence. In our next exploration, we will delve into a paradox that has captivated thinkers for centuries: the Fermi paradox. We will question why, in a universe so vast, we have yet to encounter extraterrestrial life, sparking a journey into the mysteries of the cosmos. So take a deep breath and prepare to venture into the unknown as we continue our exploration of life's most profound enigmas. As we gaze up at the night sky, filled with countless stars and celestial wonders, a profound question emerges. Where is everybody? This inquiry lies at the heart of the Fermi paradox, a concept that has intrigued scientists, philosophers, and dreamers alike. The universe is vast, teeming with billions of galaxies, each containing millions, if not billions, of stars and planets. Given this staggering scale, it seems reasonable to assume that intelligent life should be common. Yet, despite decades of searching, we have yet to find definitive evidence of extraterrestrial civilizations. Why is that? To understand the Fermi paradox fully, let's begin by exploring the man behind the name Enrico Fermi, a brilliant physicist who played a pivotal role in the development of nuclear energy and quantum theory. Fermi was known for his inquisitive mind and love of asking profound questions. During a casual lunch conversation with colleagues in the 1950s, Fermi posed a simple yet striking question: where is everybody? This question encapsulated the paradox that would bear his name, highlighting the disconnect between the high probability of extraterrestrial life and the complete lack of contact or evidence for such life. Now, let's consider the implications of this paradox. If we assume that there are countless civilizations in the universe, we must ask why we have not encountered any of them. One possibility is that intelligent life is incredibly rare. The conditions required for life to emerge are complex, and perhaps Earth is a unique example of a planet where intelligent beings have evolved. This idea is supported by the anthropic principle, which suggests that we can only observe the universe from the perspective of a species that has managed to survive long enough to ask these questions. Imagine standing on a remote beach, scanning the horizon for signs of life. You might see seagulls soaring overhead and hear the gentle waves lapping at the shore. But there are no boats, no other people, just you and the vast expanse of the ocean. In this metaphor, Earth represents that lonely beach, surrounded by an ocean of stars and planets, where life may exist but remains hidden from our view. Another explanation for the Fermi paradox is the possibility that intelligent civilizations are common, but they self-destruct before they can establish contact with others. This idea raises a chilling question. Are we doomed to repeat the same mistakes? As we develop advanced technologies, we also create new risks. Nuclear weapons, environmental degradation, and other existential threats pose significant dangers to our civilization. Imagine a thriving society on the brink of a technological breakthrough, only to be undone by its own hubris. This scenario serves as a cautionary tale, urging us to consider our choices and the potential consequences of our actions. As we explore the Fermi paradox further, we encounter the concept of the Great Filter. This idea suggests that there is some stage in the evolutionary process that is incredibly difficult to surpass, acting as a barrier to the emergence of intelligent life. This great filter could exist either behind us or ahead of us. If it lies in our past, it implies that the leap from simple life forms to intelligent beings is a rare occurrence. If it lies ahead, it suggests that advanced civilizations inevitably face catastrophic challenges that lead to their extinction. Consider the implications of the Great Filter for our own existence. If we have already passed the filter, it may mean we are exceedingly fortunate to be here. It raises questions about the choices we make and the responsibilities we hold as stewards of our planet. On the other hand, if the filter lies ahead, it serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of our civilization. We must confront the reality that our future may be uncertain, and that the choices we make today could determine whether we survive or fall victim to our own creations. Now, let's turn our attention to the vast number of stars in the universe. The Milky Way alone contains an estimated 100 billion stars, many of which have planets in their orbits. The discovery of exoplanets, planets outside our solar system, has transformed our understanding of the cosmos. In recent years, scientists have identified thousands of these distant worlds, some of which lie in the habitable zone, where conditions might be suitable for life. This discovery raises the tantalizing possibility that other civilizations may exist, waiting to be discovered. However, the sheer scale of the universe poses a significant challenge for exploration. Our nearest neighboring star, Proxima Centauri, is a mere 4.24 light-years away, yet with our current technology it would take thousands of years to reach it. This vast distance highlights the limitations of our exploration efforts and the challenges of making contact with other civilizations. Imagine receiving a message from a distant civilization, transmitted across light-years of space. The excitement of deciphering their language, the thrill of discovering their culture, and the realization that we are not alone in the universe would be monumental. Yet, the reality is that we may be too far apart or lack the means to communicate. The vastness of space creates an inhospitable barrier, isolating us from potential neighbors in the cosmic neighborhood. As we contemplate the Fermi paradox, we must also consider the possibility that advanced civilizations may choose to remain silent. The idea of the zoo hypothesis suggests that extraterrestrial civilizations are aware of our existence but deliberately avoid contact, observing us from a distance as if we were animals in a zoo. This concept raises ethical questions about the nature of contact and the responsibilities of advanced beings. Would they intervene in our development, or would they allow us to evolve independently? Picture a scenario in which a highly advanced civilization possesses the technology to observe lesser-developed societies without interference. They might watch as we navigate our challenges and triumphs, respecting our autonomy while gaining insights into our culture. The thought of being observed by cosmic beings adds a layer of intrigue and mystery to our existence, prompting us to consider the implications of such a reality. Now, let's explore the possibility that we may be looking for the wrong signs. Our search for extraterrestrial life has largely focused on finding radio signals or other technological markers of intelligence. However, it's possible that alien civilizations communicate in ways we cannot comprehend. They might utilize forms of communication beyond our current understanding, or they may exist in states of being that defy our definitions of life. Consider the diversity of life on Earth. From the simplest microorganisms to complex mammals, life takes on myriad forms. If life can be so varied on our planet, why would we assume that extraterrestrial life would conform to our expectations? Perhaps advanced civilizations have developed technologies so far beyond our own that we cannot even recognize their existence. As we delve deeper into the Fermi paradox, we also confront the psychological aspects of our search for extraterrestrial life. The desire to find others in the universe speaks to our longing for connection and understanding. We are inherently social beings, and the thought of being alone in a vast, empty cosmos can be daunting. The search for extraterrestrial life reflects our quest for meaning and our desire to belong to something greater than ourselves. Imagine the excitement of discovering that we are not alone, that there are other beings in the universe with whom we can share ideas, cultures, and experiences. This prospect ignites a sense of wonder and hope, urging us to reach beyond our planet and explore the cosmos. Yet, the fear of solitude can also be paralyzing. The Fermi paradox serves as a reminder of our vulnerability and the importance of forging connections with one another here on Earth. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of the Fermi paradox, it's essential to recognize that the questions it raises are not just academic. They resonate with our deepest fears and aspirations. The search for extraterrestrial life is ultimately a search for meaning, a quest to understand our place in the universe and the nature of existence itself. Consider the feelings that arise as you contemplate the vastness of the cosmos. The stars above serve as a reminder of our smallness, yet they also inspire awe and curiosity. We are part of a grand narrative woven into the fabric of the universe, and the questions we ask, about ourselves, about life, about the cosmos, are what make us human. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, let us carry with us the understanding that the Fermi paradox invites us to explore the complexities of existence and our place within the universe. It challenges us to confront our fears of solitude and inspires us to seek connection and understanding in our lives. In our next exploration, we will delve into the mind-bending concept of Schrödinger's cat, where we will question the nature of reality and the strange behavior of particles at the quantum level. Prepare to journey further into the mysteries of life as we continue our exploration of the profound enigmas that shape our understanding of existence. Imagine a cat, a simple domestic creature, sitting in a box. The scene appears mundane at first glance, but this is no ordinary cat. It is at the center of a thought experiment that challenges our understanding of reality itself. Welcome to the world of Schrödinger's cat, a paradox that illustrates the strange and counterintuitive nature of quantum mechanics. As we explore this concept, we will uncover the implications it holds for our understanding of existence, observation, and the very fabric of reality. To set the stage, let's delve into the premise of the thought experiment devised by the Austrian physicist Erwin Schrödinger in 1935. Schrödinger aimed to highlight the peculiarities of quantum mechanics, particularly the concept of superposition. In his hypothetical scenario, a cat is placed inside a sealed box along with a radioactive atom, a Geiger counter, and a vial of poison. If the Geiger counter detects radiation from the decaying atom, it triggers the release of the poison, resulting in the cat's death. If the atom remains stable, the cat lives. Now, here's where it gets interesting. According to the principles of quantum mechanics, until we open the box and observe the cat, it exists in a superposition of states, both alive and dead simultaneously. This paradox raises profound questions about the nature of reality and the role of observation in determining outcomes. It challenges our classical understanding of the world, where objects exist in definite states, and forces us to grapple with the unsettling idea that reality may be far more complex than it appears. As we ponder this thought experiment, let's consider the implications of superposition. In the quantum world, particles can exist in multiple states at once. For instance, an electron can occupy different energy levels simultaneously until it is measured. This phenomenon is often illustrated by the famous double-slit experiment, where particles behave as both particles and waves, creating interference patterns that can only be explained by the principles of quantum mechanics. Imagine standing before a double-slit apparatus, where a beam of light is directed toward a barrier with two slits. When both slits are open, the light creates an interference pattern on a screen behind it, suggesting that the light is behaving like a wave. However, when the light is observed, it behaves like a particle, producing two distinct bands instead of the interference pattern. This bizarre behavior challenges our intuition and raises the question: what role does observation play in shaping reality? As we explore the implications of Schrödinger's cat and superposition, we must also consider the philosophical questions that arise. If reality is contingent upon observation, does that mean our consciousness shapes the universe? This idea is in line with interpretations of quantum mechanics, such as the Copenhagen interpretation, which posits that an observer's consciousness plays a crucial role in determining the state of a quantum system. Imagine a world where your thoughts and perceptions directly influence the outcome of events. This notion is both exhilarating and terrifying, as it places immense power in the hands of the observer. If our consciousness can collapse the wave function of particles, what does this mean for our understanding of free will and agency? Are we merely passive observers in a universe that responds to our awareness, or do we actively participate in shaping reality? Let's take a moment to reflect on the impact of this idea on our everyday lives. Consider a decision you have made, perhaps choosing a career path or a relationship. In that moment, you may have felt as though you were determining your future. But what if your choices were influenced by a multitude of factors, your upbringing, societal expectations, and even the people around you? The notion that our consciousness interacts with reality adds a layer of complexity to our understanding of decision-making and agency. Moreover, the implications of Schrödinger's cat extend beyond quantum mechanics and philosophical inquiry. They also touch on the very nature of existence. If the cat can be both alive and dead until observed, what does that say about the state of reality itself? It suggests that the universe may not be a fixed entity, but rather a dynamic interplay of possibilities waiting to be realized. This perspective invites us to consider the fluidity of existence and the interconnectedness of all things. As we delve deeper into this paradox, we must also address the concept of decoherence. In the quantum world, Superposition exists until an interaction with the environment causes the wave function to collapse into a definite state. This process, known as decoherence, explains why we do not observe macroscopic objects, like cats, existing in superposition in our everyday lives. The act of measurement and interaction forces the system into one state or another, leading us to perceive a world of fixed realities. Imagine a glass of water sitting on a table. You might think of it as a solid object, yet at the quantum level, the water molecules are in constant motion, vibrating and interacting with one another. If we apply the principles of superposition to this scene, we might wonder, what happens to the glass of water if we do not observe it? Does it exist in a state of potentialities, or is it merely a collection of particles vibrating in a predetermined pattern? This inquiry highlights the complexity of reality and the limitations of our observations. As we explore these ideas, we must also confront the implications of Schrödinger's cat for our understanding of life and death. The thought experiment invites us to reflect on the nature of existence itself. If the cat can be both alive and dead, what does this say about our own understanding of life? Are we defined solely by our physical states? Or is there something more profound that transcends our biological existence? Consider the concept of consciousness and what it means to be alive. Our understanding of life is often tied to our ability to perceive, to feel, and to experience the world around us. But if consciousness can exist in a superposition of states, does that challenge our definitions of life? This perspective leads us to ponder the mysteries of existence and the nature of reality itself. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of Schrödinger's cat, it is essential to recognize that this paradox serves as a gateway to deeper inquiries about the nature of existence, observation, and consciousness. It invites us to embrace the complexities of reality and the interplay between the observer and the observed. Imagine standing before a vast canvas, where each brushstroke represents a possibility waiting to be realized. The act of observation becomes a vital part of the creative process, shaping the outcome of the painting. In this metaphor, we are not mere spectators but active participants in the unfolding narrative of existence. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, let us carry with us the understanding that the paradox of Schrödinger's cat challenges us to question our assumptions and engage with the mysteries of reality. It invites us to explore the interconnectedness of all things and the role of consciousness in shaping our understanding of existence. In our next exploration, we will delve into the omnipotence paradox, where we will question the nature of power, limits, and the very essence of divinity itself. Imagine a being so powerful that it can do anything: create worlds, manipulate time, and shape reality itself. This idea of omnipotence has been a cornerstone of theological discussions and philosophical inquiries for centuries. Yet, nestled within this grand concept lies a paradox that challenges our understanding of power and limits: the omnipotence paradox. Today, we will delve into this intriguing paradox, exploring its implications and the fundamental questions it raises about the nature of divinity, free will, and the very concept of power itself. To understand the omnipotence paradox, we must first define what is meant by omnipotence. The term refers to the ability to do anything that is logically possible. This means that an omnipotent being should be capable of performing any action, including those that might seem contradictory. However, this leads us to a fundamental question. Can an omnipotent being create a rock so heavy that it cannot lift it? If such a rock exists, then the being is not omnipotent because it cannot lift it. Conversely, if it cannot create the rock, then it is also not omnipotent because there is something it cannot do. This paradox creates a logical conflict that challenges our understanding of absolute power. Let's take a moment to reflect on the implications of this paradox. If we accept the premise that an omnipotent being exists, we are faced with a dilemma. Is it possible for such a being to perform logically contradictory actions? If so, does this mean that the very nature of omnipotence is flawed? This inquiry leads us to question the boundaries of power and the expectations we place upon the divine. Throughout history, various philosophers and theologians have grappled with the nature of omnipotence. One notable figure in this discussion is Saint Augustine, who argued that God is not bound by the constraints of logic. According to Augustine, God's omnipotence is expressed through the power to create and sustain the universe, but this does not entail the ability to do the logically impossible. In this view, the paradox of creating a rock so heavy that an omnipotent being cannot lift it is dismissed as a nonsensical proposition, akin to asking whether God can create a square circle. However, this perspective raises further questions. If we accept that an omnipotent being cannot perform logically contradictory actions, does this imply that there are limits to divine power? And if there are limits, can we still consider this being to be truly omnipotent? The tension between the concept of absolute power and the constraints of logic creates a fascinating landscape for exploration. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast chasm, peering into the depths of philosophical inquiry. As you contemplate the nature of power, you might wonder about the role of free will. If an omnipotent being has the power to do anything, does that mean it can also dictate the choices of other beings? This question touches upon the delicate balance between divine sovereignty and human agency. If God were to control every action, then free will would be an illusion, raising ethical concerns about accountability and morality. Consider the implications of a world where every decision is predetermined by an omnipotent being. In this scenario, individuals would be mere puppets, their strings pulled by a divine hand. This raises profound questions about the nature of existence and the value of human experiences. If our choices are not truly our own, what does that mean for our relationships, our struggles, and our growth? In contrast, if we assert that free will exists, we must grapple with the limitations it places on divine power. Can an all-powerful being truly allow for genuine autonomy while maintaining control over the universe? This paradox highlights the complexities of existence, as it challenges us to explore the interplay between divine authority and human freedom. As we delve deeper into the omnipotence paradox, we encounter another layer of complexity: the question of moral goodness. Many religious traditions assert that God is not only omnipotent but also inherently good. If this is the case, how do we reconcile the existence of evil and suffering in the world with the notion of an all-powerful, benevolent being? This inquiry leads us to confront the problem of evil, which has been a central theme in theological discussions for centuries. Imagine a world filled with suffering, injustice, and despair. If God is omnipotent and good, then why does evil exist? This paradox poses a significant challenge to our understanding of divine power and morality. Some theologians have proposed various theodicies, attempts to justify God's allowance of evil as part of a greater plan. They argue that free will is essential for genuine love and moral goodness, suggesting that the capacity to choose between good and evil is what makes us truly human. However, this raises further questions. If free will is a necessary condition for moral goodness, does this mean that God willingly permits evil to exist? And if God is aware of the suffering caused by human choices, how do we reconcile this with the notion of divine benevolence? These inquiries push us to grapple with the complexities of moral agency and the implications of divine power. Let's take a moment to reflect on the ways these questions resonate in our own lives. Each of us has faced moments of struggle and doubt, where we have questioned the nature of existence and the presence of suffering. These experiences can lead us to seek answers in philosophy, religion, or personal reflection. As we navigate the uncertainties of life, we may find comfort in the belief that there is a greater purpose or meaning to our experiences, even when faced with adversity. As we continue our exploration of the omnipotence paradox, we must also consider the implications of divine power in the context of creation. If God is omnipotent, then the act of creation itself must be an expression of divine will. This raises intriguing questions about the relationship between the creator and the created. If the universe is a reflection of God's power, does it also reflect God's nature? Imagine a painter standing before a blank canvas, brush in hand, ready to create a masterpiece. The artist has the power to shape the world within the frame, to bring forth colors, textures, and emotions. In this metaphor, the act of creation becomes an expression of the artist's vision and intent. Similarly, if we view the universe as a creation of an omnipotent being, we must ask what it reveals about the nature of that being. In many religious traditions, creation is seen as an act of love and intentionality. If God is the ultimate creator, then the universe must be infused with meaning and purpose. This perspective invites us to contemplate the beauty and complexity of existence, urging us to recognize the interconnectedness of all things. It prompts us to consider our own role as co-creators in the world, shaping our lives and experiences through our choices and actions. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of the omnipotence paradox, it is essential to recognize that this concept does not provide definitive answers. Rather, it opens the door to a myriad of questions that challenge our understanding of power, morality, and existence. It invites us to engage in an ongoing dialogue about the nature of divinity and the complexities of the human experience. Consider the feelings that arise as you ponder the nature of power and its limitations. The paradox of omnipotence challenges us to embrace uncertainty and complexity, reminding us that the questions we ask are as important as the answers we seek. It encourages us to explore the nuances of existence and to find meaning in the mysteries that surround us. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, let us carry with us the understanding that the omnipotence paradox invites us to reflect on the nature of power, free will, and the divine. It challenges us to confront our assumptions and to engage with the complexities of existence. In our next exploration, we will delve into the intriguing concept of the bootstrap paradox, where we will question the nature of time, causality, and the mysteries of existence itself. Imagine for a moment that you have the ability to travel back in time, to visit pivotal moments in history and witness events that shaped the world. You could stand alongside great thinkers, watch monumental battles unfold, or even meet your ancestors. Yet, as you contemplate this exciting possibility, a perplexing scenario arises. What if your actions in the past could alter the course of history, including your own existence? This is the essence of the bootstrap paradox, a fascinating conundrum that raises profound questions about time, causality, and the nature of reality itself. To understand the bootstrap paradox, we first need to explore the concept of time travel and how it interacts with our notions of cause and effect. In classical physics, events are typically understood to follow a linear progression. One event leads to another in a straightforward chronological order. However, time travel introduces the possibility of looping back to a previous point in time, creating a scenario where the consequences of an action can retroactively influence its cause. Let's illustrate this with a classic example. Imagine you travel back in time to meet a famous author, perhaps someone like William Shakespeare. While in the past, you hand him a copy of his own works, which you had brought from the future. He reads it, becomes inspired, and subsequently writes many of the plays that are attributed to him. However, if you never traveled back in time to give him that book, would he have written those plays at all? This situation creates a paradox. The plays exist because you brought them to Shakespeare, but without his original works, you would have had nothing to bring back in the first place. This paradox challenges our understanding of causality. In a typical cause and effect relationship, the cause precedes the effect. Yet in the bootstrap paradox, the effect seems to exist before its cause, leading to a troubling loop where the origin of an event becomes impossible to pinpoint. This raises the question: how do we understand the flow of time if events can exist in a self-contained loop? As we delve deeper into the bootstrap paradox, we encounter implications that extend beyond time travel. The concept forces us to confront our ideas about identity and existence. If you were to meet your past self, what would that mean for your sense of self? Would you be two separate individuals, or would you remain one continuous entity? The paradox invites us to explore the nature of identity and how our experiences shape who we are over time. Consider the idea of memory. Our memories are the threads that weave together the tapestry of our identity. They inform our decisions, shape our perceptions, and guide our understanding of the world. If we were to travel back in time and interact with our past selves, how would that affect our memories? Would we create new memories that overwrite the old ones? Or would the interaction simply exist as an additional layer of experience? This inquiry leads us to ponder the fluidity of identity and the ways in which our past, present, and future selves are interconnected. As we explore the complexities of the bootstrap paradox, we must also consider the philosophical implications of time itself. Is time an immutable force, a linear path that we must follow? Or is it a malleable construct that allows for multiple possibilities and outcomes? In the world of quantum mechanics, time is often viewed as a less rigid entity, with particles existing in states of superposition, able to influence one another in ways that challenge our classical understanding. Imagine standing at a crossroads, where each path represents a different possibility. In this metaphor, time becomes a vast landscape, filled with potential outcomes and divergent narratives. The bootstrap paradox invites us to consider how our choices at any given moment can ripple through the fabric of time, creating a complex web of interconnected events. If we accept that time is not a straight line but rather a fluid tapestry, it opens the door to a world of infinite possibilities. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the stories we tell ourselves about time and existence. Throughout history, humans have sought to understand their place in the universe through myths, legends, and philosophical musings. These narratives often grapple with the nature of time, causality, and the human experience. The bootstrap paradox can be viewed as a modern extension of these age-old inquiries, offering a new lens through which we can examine our lives and our relationships with the past, present, and future. As we continue our exploration, we must confront the ethical implications of the bootstrap paradox. If time travel were possible, what responsibilities would we hold in our interactions with the past? Would we have the right to alter events, knowing that our actions could have profound consequences for future generations? The ability to change history brings with it a heavy burden, as we must weigh the potential benefits against the unforeseen repercussions. Imagine a world where time travel is not only possible but commonplace. People might journey back to witness historical events or even attempt to correct perceived injustices. However, with each alteration, the timeline becomes increasingly complex, and the consequences of our actions become more difficult to predict. The ethical dilemmas surrounding time travel challenge us to think deeply about the nature of responsibility and the impact of our choices on the course of history. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of the bootstrap paradox, it is essential to recognize that this concept does not provide definitive answers. Rather, it opens the door to a multitude of questions that challenge our understanding of time, identity, and existence. The paradox invites us to engage in an ongoing dialogue about the nature of reality and the interplay between cause and effect. Consider the feelings that arise as you contemplate the intricacies of time and existence. The bootstrap paradox serves as a reminder that our lives are filled with moments of uncertainty and ambiguity. It encourages us to embrace the unknown and to find meaning in the questions that linger in the shadows of our minds. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, let us carry with us the understanding that the bootstrap paradox invites us to explore the complexities of existence and the nature of time. It challenges us to confront our assumptions and to engage with the mysteries that surround us. In our next exploration, we will delve into the thought-provoking concept of the ship of Theseus, where we will question the nature of identity and the essence of change itself. Imagine a ship sailing across the vast, shimmering ocean, its sails billowing in the wind as it glides through the waves. This ship, known as the Ship of Theseus, has a storied history, filled with adventures and journeys that have shaped its identity. However, as time passes, the ship undergoes a gradual transformation. One by one, its wooden planks are replaced with new materials, and its sails are repaired or replaced. Eventually, every single part of the ship is changed. The question then arises, is this still the Ship of Theseus, or has it become something entirely different? This thought experiment raises profound questions about identity, continuity, and change, challenging our understanding of what it means to be an object or a person. At its core, the Ship of Theseus paradox invites us to explore the nature of identity and the ways in which we define ourselves over time. As we embark on this exploration, we will delve into the implications of this paradox and what it reveals about the fluidity of existence. To fully appreciate the Ship of Theseus paradox, let's consider its historical context. The thought experiment dates back to ancient Greece and is attributed to the philosopher Plutarch, who used it to discuss the nature of identity and the persistence of objects over time. The paradox poses a central question. If all the components of an object are replaced, does it remain the same object, or does it become a new entity altogether? Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the implications of this paradox. Our understanding of identity is often tied to the physical components of an entity. We tend to think of objects as defined by their material parts, the wood of the ship, the metal of a car, or the flesh and blood of a human being. However, the ship of Theseus challenges this perspective, inviting us to consider whether identity is more than just the sum of its parts. Imagine a person who undergoes significant changes throughout their life. Over the years, they may change their beliefs, values, and even their physical appearance. They may move to a different country, adopt new interests, and form new relationships. At what point does this person stop being the same individual they once were? Is it defined by their memories, their experiences, or their physical body? The ship of Theseus paradox serves as a lens through which we can examine the complexities of personal identity and the ways in which we evolve over time. As we dive deeper into this exploration, we encounter the notion of psychological continuity. Many philosophers argue that our identity is tied not to our physical bodies but to our psychological experiences, our memories, thoughts, and feelings. From this perspective, as long as there is continuity in our consciousness, we remain the same person, even if our bodies change over time. This idea aligns with the concept of personal identity as a narrative, where our lives are woven together by the stories we tell ourselves about who we are. Consider the example of a tree. Over the years, its leaves may fall and regrow, its branches may grow or be cut back, and its trunk may expand. Yet, despite these changes, we recognize it as the same tree. In a similar vein, our identities may shift and change, but the continuity of our experiences and consciousness allows us to perceive ourselves as the same individuals throughout our lives. However, the ship of Theseus paradox invites us to confront the limitations of this perspective. What happens when our memories fade or when we experience significant trauma that alters our sense of self? If our psychological continuity is disrupted, do we still retain our identity? This question leads us into deeper philosophical territory, where we must grapple with the nature of consciousness and the ways in which our experiences shape who we are. As we navigate the complexities of the ship of Theseus paradox, we must also consider the implications for our understanding of objects and their identity. If we accept that identity is fluid, what does this mean for our relationships with the things we create and interact with? Objects are often imbued with meaning and significance, shaped by the histories and experiences associated with them. A family heirloom, for example, may carry deep emotional weight, even if its physical components have changed over generations. Imagine inheriting a cherished piece of furniture from your grandparents. Over the years, you may choose to repair or modify it, replacing worn-out parts or refinishing its surface. Yet, despite these changes, the piece remains a symbol of your family's history and legacy. The emotional connection to the object transcends its physical components, illustrating how identity can be shaped by context and meaning rather than material substance. This notion of identity as a construct of relationships and experiences extends beyond inanimate objects to our interactions with one another. Our connections with friends, family, and communities shape our understanding of ourselves and our identities. Consider the impact of a significant friendship on your sense of self. As you grow and change alongside your friend, your shared experiences may redefine your understanding of who you are. In this way, identity becomes a tapestry woven from the threads of relationships, experiences, and memories. As we reflect on the implications of the ship of Theseus paradox, we must also confront the existential questions it raises. If identity is not fixed but rather a fluid and evolving construct, what does this mean for our understanding of existence itself? Are we defined by our pasts, or are we constantly in a state of becoming? This inquiry invites us to embrace the uncertainty of life and to find meaning in the journey of self-discovery. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, open field, filled with possibilities. Each step you take represents a choice, a moment that adds to the tapestry of your identity. As you walk through this field, you may encounter challenges and opportunities that shape your understanding of yourself. The journey of life is not a straight path, but rather a winding road filled with twists and turns, each contributing to the person you are becoming. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of the ship of Theseus paradox, it is essential to recognize that this concept does not provide definitive answers. Rather, It opens the door to a multitude of questions that challenge our understanding of identity and existence. It invites us to engage in an ongoing dialogue about the nature of self and the ways in which we define ourselves over time. Consider the feelings that arise as you contemplate the complexities of identity. The ship of Theseus serves as a reminder that we are not static beings but rather dynamic entities, shaped by our experiences and relationships. It encourages us to embrace the fluidity of existence and to find meaning in the ever-changing nature of our lives. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, let us carry with us the understanding that the ship of Theseus paradox invites us to explore the intricacies of identity and the essence of change. It challenges us to confront our assumptions and to engage with the mysteries that surround us. In our next exploration, we will delve into the thought-provoking concept of the paradox of choice, where we will question the nature of freedom and the complexities of decision-making in an increasingly overwhelming world. Imagine standing in front of a vast array of choices, each option shimmering like a colorful gem, beckoning you to decide. The menu at your favorite restaurant is no longer just a list of dishes. It is transformed into a daunting collection of possibilities, each promising a unique experience. As you scan the options, excitement mingles with anxiety. The paradox of choice begins to unfold, and you find yourself grappling with an overwhelming sense of uncertainty. In a world where we are told that more choices lead to greater freedom and satisfaction, the reality can often feel quite the opposite. The paradox of choice suggests that while having options can feel liberating, an abundance of choices can lead to paralysis, dissatisfaction, and even regret. This phenomenon was popularized by psychologist Barry Schwartz in his book, The Paradox of Choice: Why More is Less. Schwartz argues that when faced with too many options, we become overwhelmed and struggle to make decisions. Instead of feeling empowered, we may experience anxiety and self-doubt, fearing that we will make the wrong choice. Let's explore this paradox through a relatable scenario. Picture yourself at a bustling ice cream shop, where the display case is filled with dozens of flavors, everything from classic vanilla to exotic lavender honey. Initially, the array of colors and choices is enticing. You can almost taste the creamy delights as you imagine indulging in each unique flavor. But as you begin to decide, the sheer number of options becomes paralyzing. Should you go for the familiar chocolate chip cookie dough, or take a risk with the adventurous wasabi ice cream? You find yourself caught in a whirlwind of thoughts, weighing the pros and cons of each choice, and as seconds turn into minutes, the joy of selecting your treat begins to fade. This scenario illustrates the core of the paradox of choice. When given too many options, we may start to second-guess ourselves, fearing that we'll make a choice we'll later regret. The pressure to make the perfect decision can lead to an overwhelming sense of anxiety. Instead of enjoying the moment, we become trapped in our minds, contemplating the myriad of possibilities and their potential outcomes. As we delve deeper into this paradox, let's consider the psychological mechanisms at play. Research has shown that when people have too many choices, they often experience what is known as choice overload. This phenomenon can lead to decision fatigue, where the mental energy required to evaluate options drains our ability to make effective choices. Imagine starting your day with a long list of decisions to make: what to wear, what to eat, and how to prioritize your tasks. By the time you reach the end of the day, your mental reserves may be depleted, making it even harder to make decisions about seemingly trivial matters. In the context of consumer behavior, the paradox of choice has significant implications. Companies often market their products by emphasizing the variety they offer, believing that more choices will attract customers. However, the reality is that too many options can alienate consumers. Instead of feeling empowered by choice, shoppers may become overwhelmed and abandon their carts, opting to leave the store empty-handed rather than risking the stress of making the wrong decision. Let's reflect on this in the context of the modern digital world. Online shopping has exploded in popularity, providing consumers with an unprecedented array of choices at their fingertips. You can browse thousands of products from the comfort of your home, comparing prices, reading reviews, and exploring various brands. While this convenience is undoubtedly appealing, it can also lead to choice overload. Scrolling through endless options can elicit feelings of frustration and confusion, leaving consumers unsure of what to buy. The very platform designed to enhance the shopping experience can inadvertently create a sense of paralysis. As we explore the paradox of choice, we must also consider its impact on our relationships and personal lives. In a world filled with options, the pursuit of the ideal partner can feel daunting. With dating apps and social media, individuals are presented with an abundance of potential connections. While this can open up opportunities for love and companionship, it can also lead to unrealistic expectations and a fear of commitment. The desire to find the perfect match can create a perpetual cycle of searching, leaving individuals feeling dissatisfied with their relationships. Imagine going on a date with someone who seems wonderful on paper. You share interests, values, and even a sense of humor. Yet, as you walk away from the date, a nagging thought creeps into your mind. What if there's someone better out there? This mindset can prevent individuals from fully investing in their relationships, as they remain trapped in a cycle of comparison and second-guessing. The paradox of choice can turn love into a marketplace of options, where the fear of missing out overshadows the potential for genuine connection. However, it is essential to recognize that the paradox of choice is not merely a lament about the difficulties of decision-making. It also prompts us to reflect on our values and priorities. When faced with an overwhelming array of options, we are forced to confront what truly matters to us. This introspection can lead to greater self-awareness and ultimately help us make more fulfilling choices. Consider the example of a career path. In today's world, individuals are often told to pursue their passion and find their dream job. This can lead to a multitude of options, from traditional careers to entrepreneurial ventures. Yet, the abundance of choices can create a paralyzing pressure to find the perfect job. In this context, the paradox of choice encourages individuals to reflect on their values and motivations. Instead of striving for perfection, we can focus on aligning our choices with what resonates with our authentic selves. This shift in perspective can make decision-making feel less daunting and more empowering. As we continue to explore the paradox of choice, it is important to consider potential strategies for navigating the overwhelming landscape of options. One approach is to limit the number of choices we confront. By narrowing down our options, we can reduce the cognitive load associated with decision-making. For instance, when shopping for clothing, instead of browsing through an entire store, we might focus our search on specific styles or brands that align with our preferences. This simplification can help alleviate the stress of choice and lead to more satisfying decisions. Another effective strategy is to embrace the concept of satisficing, a term coined by psychologist Herbert Simon. Rather than striving for the absolute best option, satisficing encourages individuals to seek a choice that meets their needs and satisfies their criteria. This mindset allows us to make decisions more efficiently and reduces the pressure to find the perfect option. Imagine entering a restaurant with a clear idea of what you want to eat. Perhaps you're in the mood for Italian food. Instead of scanning the entire menu for hours, you can choose a dish that appeals to you, feeling confident in your decision. As we reflect on these strategies, let's consider the importance of gratitude and mindfulness in the decision-making process. When we approach choices with a sense of appreciation for what we have, we can cultivate a more positive mindset. Instead of fixating on what we might be missing out on, we can focus on the value of the choices we do make. Mindfulness practices can help us become more aware of our thoughts and feelings, allowing us to navigate decisions with greater clarity and intention. Now, let's take a moment to explore the broader implications of the paradox of choice. In a society that often equates freedom with an abundance of options, we must question whether this paradigm truly enhances our well-being. Research has indicated that people who prioritize experiences over possessions tend to report higher levels of happiness and fulfillment. This suggests that the value of choice may lie not in the quantity of options, but in the quality of our experiences. Imagine creating lasting memories with loved ones, whether through travel, shared adventures, or simple moments spent together. These experiences often hold more significance than the material possessions we acquire. The paradox of choice encourages us to reflect on how we can prioritize meaningful experiences in our lives, ultimately leading to greater satisfaction and contentment. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of the paradox of choice, it is essential to recognize that this concept challenges us to rethink our relationship with decision-making. While choice can be empowering, it can also be overwhelming. The key lies in finding a balance, embracing the freedom that comes with options while also cultivating a sense of clarity and purpose in our choices. Consider the feelings that arise as you contemplate the complexities of choice in your own life. The paradox of choice serves as a reminder that while we are presented with a multitude of options, the most important decisions are those that align with our values and aspirations. It encourages us to embrace the journey of self-discovery and to find meaning in the choices we make. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, let us carry with us the understanding that the paradox of choice invites us to explore the intricacies of decision-making and the nature of freedom. It challenges us to confront our assumptions and to engage with the mysteries that surround us. In our next exploration, we will delve into the thought-provoking concept of the trolley problem, where we will question the complexities of morality and ethical decision-making in a world filled with dilemmas. Imagine a trolley racing down a track, hurtling toward 5 people who are tied up and unable to move. The only way to save them is to pull a lever that will divert the trolley onto another track. But there's a catch. On that second track, there is one person tied up, just as helpless as the 5. In this moment, you must make a choice, one that pits moral reasoning against the stark reality of life and death. This is the essence of the trolley problem, a thought experiment that challenges our understanding of ethics, morality, and the difficult decisions we face in life. At its core, the trolley problem poses a fundamental question. Is it morally permissible to sacrifice one life to save many? This dilemma has captured the attention of philosophers, ethicists, and psychologists for decades, igniting debates about utilitarianism, deontological ethics, and the nature of moral decision-making. As we explore this complex scenario, we will delve into the implications it holds for our understanding of morality and the choices we make. Let's take a moment to unpack the 2 primary ethical frameworks involved in the trolley problem. Utilitarianism advocates for actions that maximize overall happiness or minimize suffering. From this perspective, pulling the lever to divert the trolley and save 5 lives at the expense of one is the morally right choice. After all, saving more lives results in a greater net benefit to society. However, this calculation raises uncomfortable questions about the value of individual lives. How do we quantify the significance of one person's existence against the collective well-being of many? In contrast, deontological ethics emphasizes the importance of moral rules and duties. From this standpoint, it is inherently wrong to actively cause harm to another person, even if the outcome would save more lives. In this view, pulling the lever to kill one person, regardless of the good it might achieve, is seen as morally unacceptable. This perspective challenges us to consider the inherent value of each individual life and the ethical implications of our actions. As we navigate through the complexities of the trolley problem, let's consider the emotional weight of the decision. Imagine standing at that lever, your heart racing as you weigh the lives of 5 people against the life of one. The pressure to make the right choice can be overwhelming, and the moral implications of your decision may haunt you long after the moment has passed. This thought experiment forces us to confront the reality of moral dilemmas, where there are no clear answers, and the line between right and wrong blurs. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on how the trolley problem resonates with real-life situations. In our daily lives, we often face difficult decisions that require us to weigh the consequences of our actions. From choosing to support a political candidate to deciding whether to intervene in a conflict, we must navigate the complex landscape of morality and ethics. The trolley problem serves as a powerful metaphor for the moral choices we make, prompting us to consider the values that guide our decisions. Consider the example of a medical professional faced with a limited supply of organs for transplant. If they have the opportunity to save 5 patients who need immediate transplants by sacrificing one healthy individual, what should they do? The trolley problem echoes in this scenario, forcing the medical professional to grapple with the weight of their decision. Is it justifiable to sacrifice one life for the sake of saving multiple others? The ethical dilemmas in medicine often mirror the complexities of the trolley problem, highlighting the real-world implications of moral decision-making. As we explore the trolley problem further, we must consider the psychological aspects of moral reasoning. Research has shown that people's responses to the dilemma often vary based on emotional and cognitive factors. When faced with the choice to actively cause harm, pulling the lever, individuals tend to experience a greater moral conflict compared to situations where harm is a passive result, the trolley continuing on its path. This suggests that our emotions play a significant role in shaping our moral judgments, often leading us to prioritize personal connections and empathy over utilitarian calculations. Imagine a scenario where the person on the second track is a loved one, perhaps a sibling or a close friend. The emotional weight of that decision becomes even more pronounced. The trolley problem illustrates how our relationships and emotional attachments can influence our moral reasoning, leading us to make choices that might differ from a purely rational analysis. In moments of moral crisis, our humanity often takes precedence over cold calculations, reminding us that ethics is not just a matter of numbers but of compassion and connection. Now, let's consider the broader implications of the trolley problem for society as a whole. The ethical dilemmas it presents extend beyond individual choices. They resonate in the realm of public policy, law, and governance. Policymakers often face decisions that require them to weigh the greater good against individual rights. For instance, when implementing public health measures, leaders must balance the benefits of protecting public health with the potential infringement on personal freedoms. The trolley problem serves as a lens through which we can examine these societal dilemmas and the moral frameworks that guide our decisions. Imagine the ongoing debates surrounding issues such as climate change, healthcare, and social justice. In these discussions, the trolley problem echoes as we attempt to navigate the complex interplay between individual rights and the collective good. The choices we make at the societal level reflect our values and priorities, prompting us to consider how we can create a just and equitable world while acknowledging the moral complexities of our actions. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of the trolley problem, it is essential to recognize that this thought experiment does not provide definitive answers. Rather, it opens the door to a multitude of questions that challenge our understanding of morality and ethical decision-making. It invites us to engage in an ongoing dialogue about the nature of right and wrong and the complexities of human experience. Consider the feelings that arise as you contemplate the moral dilemmas presented by the trolley problem. The emotional weight of these decisions serves as a reminder that ethics is not merely an abstract concept but a deeply personal and human experience. It encourages us to reflect on our values and the principles that guide our choices. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, let us carry with us the understanding that the trolley problem invites us to explore the intricacies of morality and the ethical challenges we face in our lives. It challenges us to confront our assumptions and to engage with the complexities that surround our decisions. In our next exploration, we will delve into the thought-provoking concept of the infinite monkey theorem, where we will question the nature of chance, creativity, and the unpredictable forces that shape our lives. Prepare to journey further into the depths of philosophical inquiry as we continue to unravel the profound enigmas that shape our understanding of existence. Imagine a monkey sitting in front of a typewriter, endlessly tapping away at the keys. The scene is whimsical and absurd, yet it captures a profound concept that has intrigued philosophers and mathematicians alike: the infinite monkey theorem. This thought experiment posits that given an infinite amount of time, a monkey randomly pressing keys on a typewriter will eventually produce the complete works of Shakespeare, or any other literary masterpiece for that matter. The implications of this theorem extend far beyond the realm of monkeys and typewriters, inviting us to ponder the nature of chance, creativity, and the unpredictable forces that shape our reality. To understand the infinite monkey theorem fully, we must first explore its origins. The theorem is often attributed to the French mathematician Émile Borel, who presented the idea in the early 20th century. Borel's thought experiment serves to illustrate the concept of infinity and probability. If we consider an infinite amount of time, the likelihood of a monkey randomly typing out a coherent text approaches certainty. However, this raises a fundamental question. What does it mean for something to be random? And how does chance relate to the creative process? Let's take a moment to reflect on the implications of randomness in creativity. In our everyday lives, we often associate creativity with intention, skill, and inspiration. Artists, Writers and musicians pour their hearts and minds into their work, crafting pieces that resonate with others. Yet, the infinite monkey theorem suggests that even the most intricate works of art could arise from sheer randomness if given enough time. This notion challenges our understanding of creativity, prompting us to consider the role of chance in the artistic process. Imagine an artist standing in front of a blank canvas, brush in hand, ready to create a masterpiece. Each stroke of the brush is imbued with intention, emotion, and a unique vision. But what if, instead of carefully planning each detail, the artist simply splattered paint across the canvas with wild abandon? While the result might initially seem chaotic and nonsensical, could it eventually lead to something beautiful and profound? This exploration of randomness and creativity invites us to consider the delicate balance between intention and spontaneity in the creative process. As we delve deeper into the infinite monkey theorem, we must also confront the implications of infinity itself. The idea of infinity can be both exhilarating and daunting. It suggests that there are limitless possibilities, endless outcomes, and an infinite number of paths that can be taken. However, the vastness of infinity can also lead to feelings of insignificance. In a universe where anything is possible, what does it mean for our individual choices and actions? Consider the implications for our understanding of free will. If everything is predetermined by chance and probability, do we truly have agency in our lives? The infinite monkey theorem raises questions about the nature of existence and the extent to which our choices shape our reality. Are we mere players in a cosmic game of chance? Or do we have the power to influence the outcome of our lives? Now, let's reflect on how the infinite monkey theorem resonates in the context of innovation and discovery. Throughout history, great breakthroughs have often emerged from unexpected circumstances. Think of the serendipitous discoveries made by scientists and inventors who stumbled upon groundbreaking ideas while pursuing something entirely different. The concept of randomness suggests that innovation can arise from chaos, where the collision of ideas and chance encounters lead to new possibilities. Imagine a scientist working in a lab, meticulously conducting experiments to test a hypothesis. After countless trials, they encounter an unexpected result, one that contradicts their initial expectations. Instead of dismissing the anomaly, the scientist decides to explore it further, leading to a revolutionary discovery that changes the course of their field. This scenario illustrates how chance and randomness can play a pivotal role in shaping knowledge and progress. As we explore the implications of the infinite monkey theorem, we must also consider its impact on our understanding of literature and storytelling. The theorem suggests that if given enough time, any text, no matter how obscure, could be produced. This invites us to reflect on the nature of authorship and originality. If a monkey can produce Shakespeare's works through chance, what does that mean for the concept of creativity? Imagine a world where every story has been told, every plot twist explored, and every character archetype exhausted. In such a scenario, the act of creation may seem less about originality and more about the recombination of existing ideas. The infinite monkey theorem challenges our understanding of what it means to be a storyteller. It invites us to embrace the idea that creativity can emerge from the interplay between randomness and intention, where new narratives can arise from the blending of familiar elements. Let's take a moment to examine how the infinite monkey theorem resonates in the realm of technology and artificial intelligence. As we advance toward an era where algorithms and machine learning play an increasingly significant role in creative processes, the boundaries between human creativity and artificial creation become blurred. Could a sophisticated AI eventually produce works of art, literature, or music that rival the masterpieces created by human hands? Imagine an AI program to generate stories, poems, or artwork based on vast datasets of existing works. Through the lens of the infinite monkey theorem, we might wonder whether this AI could eventually create something entirely original purely by chance. The implications of this question are profound, as it forces us to reconsider our definitions of creativity, authorship, and the nature of artistic expression. As we continue to explore the infinite monkey theorem, we must also confront the emotional and psychological implications of randomness and uncertainty. Living in a world filled with unpredictability can be daunting. We often crave certainty and control in our lives, seeking to make sense of the chaos that surrounds us. The possibility that randomness could yield both beauty and disaster can evoke feelings of anxiety and vulnerability. Imagine navigating your personal life, making choices about relationships, careers, and aspirations. The path ahead may be filled with uncertainty, and the fear of making the wrong choice looms large. The infinite monkey theorem serves as a reminder that life is filled with possibilities, some of which may be serendipitous and unexpected. Embracing the unpredictability of existence can open doors to new experiences and opportunities, allowing us to discover paths we may never have considered. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of the infinite monkey theorem, it is essential to recognize that this concept does not provide definitive answers. Rather, it opens the door to a multitude of questions about chance, creativity, and the nature of existence. It invites us to engage in an ongoing dialogue about the interplay between intention and randomness and how these forces shape our lives. Consider the feelings that arise as you reflect on the complexities of chance and creativity. The infinite monkey theorem serves as a reminder that while we may strive for control in our lives, the beauty of existence lies in its unpredictability. Embracing the unknown can lead to discovery, innovation, and moments of serendipity that enrich our experiences. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, let us carry with us the understanding that the infinite monkey theorem invites us to explore the intricacies of creativity and the role of chance in our lives. It challenges us to confront our assumptions and to engage with the mysteries that surround us. In our next exploration, we will delve into the thought-provoking concept of the grandfather paradox, where we will question the nature of time, causality, and the implications of our actions across generations. Imagine you have discovered a way to travel back in time. The excitement of visiting historical moments and meeting figures from the past fills you with wonder. Yet, as you prepare for your journey, a chilling thought arises. What if your actions in the past could alter your own existence? This unsettling scenario is at the heart of the grandfather paradox, a thought experiment that challenges our understanding of time, causality, and the very nature of reality. Today, we will delve into this paradox, exploring its implications and the profound questions it raises about our existence and the fabric of time itself. To fully grasp the grandfather paradox, let's first outline its premise. Picture yourself as a time traveler who journeys back to the past and encounters your grandfather before he has children. In an unforeseen twist of fate, you accidentally prevent your grandfather from meeting your grandmother, leading to the conclusion that your parent, and subsequently you, could never have been born. This creates a paradox. If you were never born, how could you have traveled back in time to alter your grandfather's fate in the first place? The grandfather paradox illustrates the contradictions inherent in time travel and raises fundamental questions about the nature of causality. As we explore this paradox, we must consider the implications it holds for our understanding of time itself. In classical physics, time is often viewed as a linear progression, where events unfold in a cause and effect relationship. The grandfather paradox disrupts this straightforward understanding, presenting a scenario where actions in the past can create contradictions in the present. This invites us to ponder whether time is truly a fixed entity or if it is more malleable, allowing for the possibility of multiple timelines and alternate realities. Imagine standing at a crossroads in time, where each choice creates a branching path that leads to different outcomes. This concept resonates with the idea of parallel universes, where every decision creates a new timeline. If we accept that time travel could lead to alternate realities, the grandfather paradox becomes less of a contradiction and more of a reflection of the complexities inherent in the multiverse. In this framework, your decision to alter the past may create a new timeline where you never existed, while another timeline continues with your original existence intact. Now, let's take a moment to reflect on the emotional weight of the grandfather paradox. The thought of encountering our ancestors and potentially altering their lives is both thrilling and terrifying. It forces us to confront our relationship with our own past, our family history, our choices, and the impact of our actions. If we could travel back in time, would we have the courage to change the course of events, knowing that our actions could reshape our very existence? This paradox challenges us to consider the moral and ethical implications of time travel and the responsibility that comes with wielding such power. As we delve deeper into the grandfather paradox, we encounter another layer of complexity. the question of determinism versus free will. If our actions in the past can create contradictions, do we truly have free will, or are we merely following a predetermined path? The interplay between fate and choice becomes increasingly intricate as we explore the ramifications of time travel. If you were to travel back and change a significant event, would you be acting freely, or would you be fulfilling a predetermined destiny that leads you to that moment? Consider the philosophical implications of this inquiry. Many thinkers have grappled with the concept of determinism, the idea that all events, including human actions, are determined by preceding causes. If time travel exists and we can alter past events, it raises questions about the nature of causality. Are we bound by the chains of fate, or do we possess the agency to shape our destinies? The grandfather paradox invites us to engage in an ongoing dialogue about the nature of time, free will, and the complexities of human experience. Now, let's reflect on the scientific aspects of time travel and the theories that attempt to reconcile the grandfather paradox. While time travel remains a concept largely confined to the realm of science fiction, physicists have explored various theories that could theoretically allow for time travel. One such theory is based on the concept of wormholes, hypothetical passages through space-time that could create shortcuts between different points in time and space. If wormholes exist, they could potentially allow for time travel, but their practical application remains speculative at best. Imagine standing at the entrance of a wormhole, a swirling portal that promises to take you to another time. The excitement of traversing the fabric of space-time engulfs you as you consider the possibilities that lie ahead. However, the scientific community acknowledges the challenges posed by the grandfather paradox, prompting the exploration of alternative explanations. Some physicists propose that if time travel were possible, the universe might have built-in mechanisms to prevent paradoxes from occurring. These mechanisms could manifest as self-consistency principles, where any actions taken in the past must ultimately lead to a consistent timeline. As we ponder these scientific theories, it's essential to recognize that the grandfather paradox is not merely an academic exercise. It resonates with our deepest anxieties about the past and our ability to shape the future. Each of us carries the weight of our history, the choices we've made, and the paths we've taken. The idea of altering the past can evoke both hope and fear as we grapple with the potential consequences of our actions. Consider a moment in your life that you might wish to change, a decision that led to unexpected hardships or a relationship that ended in pain. The temptation to travel back in time and alter that moment can be alluring, offering the promise of a different outcome. However, the grandfather paradox serves as a reminder that our past experiences, both good and bad, have shaped who we are today. Each choice we make contributes to our growth and understanding, and the lessons learned from our struggles are often invaluable. As we approach the conclusion of our exploration of the grandfather paradox, we must reflect on its significance in the broader context of human experience. The paradox invites us to consider the nature of time, causality, and the impact of our choices on our lives and the lives of others. It encourages us to engage with the complexities of existence and to confront the uncertainties that accompany our decisions. Imagine standing at the crossroads of your life, contemplating the choices that lie ahead. The grandfather paradox serves as a reminder that while we may yearn for the ability to change the past, it is our present actions that hold the power to shape our future. Each moment is an opportunity for growth, reflection, and understanding, urging us to navigate the intricacies of life with intention and purpose. As we prepare to transition to our next segment, let us carry with us the understanding that the grandfather paradox challenges us to explore the complexities of time and existence. It invites us to engage with the questions that arise from our choices and to reflect on the nature of our reality. In our next exploration, we will delve into the captivating concept of the Fermi paradox, where we will question the existence of extraterrestrial life and the implications of our place in the cosmos. As we conclude our exploration of these profound paradoxes, it becomes clear that each one invites us to delve deeper into the mysteries of existence and the intricacies of our reality. From the trolley problem to the infinite monkey theorem, and from the grandfather paradox to the ship of Theseus, we have traversed a landscape filled with thought-provoking questions about morality, identity, time, and creativity. Each paradox serves as a lens through which we can examine our beliefs, challenge our assumptions, and reflect on the choices that shape our lives. The lessons embedded within these paradoxes remind us that life is rarely straightforward. The dilemmas we face often lack clear answers, and our decisions are influenced by a myriad of factors: our values, our relationships, and the unpredictable nature of existence itself. Embracing the complexity of life allows us to cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. It encourages us to approach our choices with intention, compassion, and an openness to the unknown. As we navigate our own journeys, let us remember that the beauty of existence lies in its uncertainties. Each moment presents an opportunity for growth and discovery, urging us to embrace the fluidity of our identities and the interconnectedness of our experiences. The paradoxes we've explored challenge us to confront the moral and philosophical questions that arise in our lives, inviting us to engage in thoughtful reflection and dialogue. If you've enjoyed this exploration of paradoxes and the rich tapestry of human experience, I encourage you to subscribe to Paradox Pillow. Join our community as we continue to unravel the mysteries of existence, delve into captivating concepts, and engage with the profound questions that shape our understanding of life. Your thoughts and insights are invaluable, so please share your reflections in the comments below. What paradox resonated with you the most? How do these concepts influence your perspective on life? Thank you for joining us on this journey through the world of paradoxes. Together, let's continue to explore, question, and embrace the wonders of existence. Sweet dreams as you ponder the mysteries of life on your paradox pillow.